The world is never going to be the same again.
I'm worried about the world.
The mass chaos and crises that there was in the world, it's going to be just like that now.
This is not an accident.
How long is it going to last? Longer than even for those of you that have some cash in the bank, way past your cash reserves.
Out of 100 people, 4 will get the message.
This thing isn't going to be over in a few weeks. This thing isn't going to be over in a few months.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As guys, today's going to have plenty of powerful information that is confirming how massive 2022 is about to be. I'm so excited because I've been getting so many different quotes from powerful people, billionaires. They all expect the same thing. I'm hearing nothing but the same thing. 2022 will have massive crypto profits for all of us. And I bring that message to all of you with zero hesitation. Now, before I get started with that information, I have to tell this to all of you. One of the things I'm most bullish on for the new year in 2022 is Hedera hashgraph. I believe Hedera hashgraph will be $1 trillion asset and has the potential to replace Ether in the top 2. Not necessarily this year, but down the road. With that being said though, the NFT wave still has plenty of opportunities for you to profit from it. And NFT.com will be built on top of Hedera hashgraph. You cannot underestimate the power of that. Kevin O'Leary stated himself S&P 500 companies are building on top of NFT.com already. And what that means for all of you is there is a massive opportunity for you to get involved and create your own Hedera hashgraph NFTs. Guys, I don't know if you're graphic designers, I don't know if you're artists, but if you missed the Ethereum NFT wave and even the Solana NFT wave, building on top of Hedera hashgraph could make you rich by accident. Speculators will buy. Ladies and gentlemen, everything is speculation in the world today. Trust me when I tell you, everything speculation has been going to the moon. That's not necessarily how I invest, but I'm just telling all of you what's going on in the world today. What that means is, if you just create some Hedera NFTs, you might be able to ride the wave because that whole ecosystem is going to support itself. Guys, on my OnlyFans in the description below, I have a tutorial on how to go about setting up and creating your own Hedera hashgraph NFTs. Don't miss it. Please subscribe. And here from the NASDAQ from a couple days ago, we see that ISO 20022 cryptos will be going to the moon. I had an interview with Quincy Jones about a month ago, and he was over here describing why institutions will be adopting these ISO coins. They're familiar with ISO and this new standard involving XRP, Stellar, Zinfin, Algorand, and IOTA. These cryptos, in my opinion, are a guarantee to go to the moon. I hate using the G word when it comes to investing, but come on, guys. The writing is on the wall, and the NASDAQ is letting you know how big 2022 is going to be for these assets. Ride the wave while you still can. Here's what I'm going to say on top of that. You see, before I can describe to you why I am so excited about 2022, I have to remind some of you what ISO 20022 is. It is an emerging global and open standard for payments messaging. I believe 2022 will be a powerful year for ISO 20022. And a powerful reason is because I listen to what the billionaires have to say. I like using a line that states I like positioning my pennies next to the billionaires' dollars because all tides will rise with what they do. They are the 1% and the people in the know. They are the news for the classes, and the money speaks loudly. Now, billionaire entrepreneur Chamath, also part owner of the Golden State Warriors, stated something the other day that lets me know exactly what's going to play out in 2022 and why I'm so bullish on XRP and all these other coins we're very bullish on as well. Please take a listen.
My biggest business loser for 2022 is Visa and Mastercard and traditional payment rails and the entire ecosystem around it. So I think that this is the year you can put on what probably will be the most profitable spread trade of my lifetime, which is to be short these companies, and that anybody that basically lives off of this 2 or 3% tax and be long, well thought out Web3 crypto projects that are rebuilding payments infrastructure in a completely decentralized way. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that what you say won't also happen, both that Stripe will have an incredible IPO and that a lot of these scammy crypto projects will go to zero. However, if you read the white papers of these crypto projects and you systematically put together a framework, I think you can be long those and you can be short Visa, Mastercard, because I think this is their peak market cap.
Now guys, that prediction by Chamath may be a powerful reason why Visa completed the acquisition of Ripple Partner Currency Cloud. Might be a reason why Visa expanded payments network via Earthport acquisition. May be a reason why Mastercard teamed up with Ripple partner Lulu. This is so important that all of you see. The news for the classes is payments are about to revolutionize the world. We are invested in the new payments infrastructure of the planet. We've always had it right, but we've been waiting for adoption. The paradigm shift is underway, and 2022 will be a powerful year for experiencing just that. In 2021, we saw a baby calf walk of a bull run, the first stages. However, in 2022, the euphoria we're all going to experience will be written about in the history books. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But Raoul Pal gives an important take as to what Gary Gensler specifically is trying to do. The SEC is trying to get their filthy hands on this space and control it. There will be a point where this bull run finally does come to an end, but it won't happen before we take massive profits from this market.
So Gensler is trying to sound like he's the tough guy to get people on his side saying, look, I'll take control of this, because a lot of these guys are boomers and they don't understand what this is all about. So he's saying, don't worry about it, I've got this. So he's trying to get power himself. But I think the US is learning about the power of the number of crypto holders and how passionate they are about the space and how much money they have. And so I think there's a game changer to come from this. I think they will, as I said, they will be forced to understand that this is not a 1934 securities law. What does the 1934 securities law actually do? It actually forces you to use an intermediary because you're not smart enough to go directly. That's basically the whole thing. Yep. You're not smart enough to take risk. Unless you've got $1 million, then take all the risk you want. You can go to a casino, you can buy a gun, but you can't invest in a startup. No. Why? Because it forces people into intermediaries, which is why the banks and the asset managers don't want change. But the behavior that is observable is if you see a group of people who fear change and change is coming, there will be others who will drive it. So disruption, you cannot put the genie back in the bottle. So my guess is there's 20 asset management firms around the world thinking, fuck it, how do we change everything?
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a powerful statement by Raoul Pal. The reason that was so powerful is because it talks about the middlemen that charge fees and tell you that you're too stupid to manage your own money. Crypto brings the power back to the people, and that's what the incumbents don't want. They don't want their profits to go away. They don't want us to have more control over our finances. They don't want us to use DeFi products. That's why they try to regulate and sue and regulate and sue and regulate and sue. But the problem is, they need this technology. They need it. They're going to adopt it. And this is a powerful reason why.
I think the number one risk that we're really vulnerable to is the sustainability of the global payment system. It would appear to me that we are extremely vulnerable to having an attack against the payment system of the financial markets.
There we go again. The payment system mentioned yet again. ISO 20022 mentioned by the NASDAQ. Chamath discussing the payment system. All of this is massive. We are going to experience a financial crisis. We've already been in one, but the fantasy economics illusion of an economy has propped up this illusion for so long. People don't really understand what's going on. And it's because it no longer makes sense. Guys, this is what I'm going to say. They're going to bring on regulatory clarity. This Ripple SEC case being the main driver behind that clarity. Gary Gensler, he's shown he's going to be tough on crypto. Not many cryptos will survive, but the ones that will be working hand in hand with the Fed coins and the euros and the central bank digital currencies of the world, those, in fact, will survive and thrive. The Economist released this just the other day. We had first seen this a long time ago, but they're re-releasing it because the time is fast approaching. The writing is on the wall. Time is running out. Time is the one thing we all have an equal amount of. Don't be a second too late to this opportunity. I'm grateful. I am so grateful that XRP has been suppressed for as long as it has, because now I have more XRP than I ever thought I'd have. I'm sure the same goes for all of you too. So what do we have now? All we have to do is continue to confirm what we already know to be true. Sit on your hands while you hold. Because the payment system is changing. And XRP will be at the heart of it. Please listen to the Santandar CEO, partner of Ripple, discuss just that.
The fintech space actually changing in the next 5 to 6 years? Is it payment the next big thing, or is there something else that needs to be disrupted?
I think the next big thing, which is already here actually, is crypto. So I think that is it's already happening. You know, we talk a lot about the CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. The fact is you already have around 100 billion of stablecoin dollars, US dollar, fiat currency, digital currency in the US today, unregulated outside the system. And so how do we think about that? There's a huge amount of innovation happening, and in an area that is very much systemic. It's about monetary policy and, you know, how that gets managed. Whether it's inside or outside the system.
So how do you look at crypto? And actually, do you have to be, as a chief executive chairman, you know, a believer of crypto to be able to write, you know, have the right products for your customers?
Well, we are sort of a leader in crypto. We issued the first end-to-end bond on the blockchain, which is the technology behind crypto. We have a very strong group, not huge, but strong group on that. And the big thing is, how will central banks want to manage this? Will they manage it themselves? Will they create a framework and tell us how to do it? Will they do nothing? I think they will be working with us, with the banks. And it's also what role we want to play in that value chain, right? Yeah.
And I mean, how many customers actually want to buy Bitcoin? Do they come to you, or, you know, to your cashier?
They actually do, but we've been quite slow in adopting that because of compliance and, you know, regulatory and risk appetite. But we're now getting into it, so we're now either about to offer or already offering crypto ETFs. So being very careful about the know your customer, but being able to offer the product.
Now, guys, that's very powerful. They're ready to offer products, but regulations, that's a hindrance for this innovation and for this asset class. Tom Emmer had asked Gary Gensler why a Bitcoin futures ETF was passed as opposed to just a Bitcoin ETF. Still no response. Very interesting. We have a world where everyone's ready for mass adoption, but one regulator stands in the way. They don't want to save the day. They want to make sure we stay broke and America falls behind.
I mean, would you say that SEC Chair Gary Gensler, current SEC Chair, is actually more enforcement oriented or cracking down more on crypto than his predecessor, SEC Chair Jay Clayton? I think this is an interesting distinction because Jay Clayton was not known as being particularly friendly to crypto, right? And when Gary Gensler came in, there were sort of high hopes that, okay, he has a deeper understanding of crypto. This might be sort of a new era. Would you say that Gary Gensler is actually kind of tougher on crypto than his predecessor, Jay Clayton?
Indeed. I mean, I think it's unquestionable. Certainly, the aggressiveness under the SEC right now toward crypto is perhaps unprecedented. And I think it goes back to that philosophical divide that I talked about to begin with. I think that Chair Gensler talks about no innovation outside the regulatory envelope will long survive. I think that's on its face, it's a sensible approach. The problem with that is what form of regulation? There's many types of regulation. There's regulation that's inappropriate for a given innovation, and then there's regulation that is appropriate. So the question really is not whether there should be a regulatory regime for crypto. Of course there should be, as there is for all of our financial service activities. The question is it one that's appropriate? Is it one that's well calibrated? Is it one that's well designed? I often push back against the notion that somehow quantity of regulation is a objective. Of course not. It's quality of regulation. The regulation must be fit for purpose. It must be suitable. And what we don't yet have is what is the appropriate form of regulation. And we don't have the SEC putting forward, I think, really appropriate ideas for it, innovative ideas that actually broaden financial access and financial inclusion, and that interpret investor protection as not just applying to the wealthiest in our society, but to all members of our society. That's the type of regulation we've got to get to.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was CFTC former chair Chris Giancarlo and head of the Digital Dollar Project. He seems to have some common sense. The regulation that seems to fit what he's saying is that Hester Pierce safe harbor proposal that I believe Gary Gensler hasn't even read yet. I believe him, Elizabeth Warren, and certain other politicians, they want to purposefully dismantle this asset class because they are bought by corrupt banks and financial institutions. They are the quicksand that is halting our profits. But this is the thing, though, and I'm going to say it again and again and again. The financial system needs this technology. That is not a question. They know it as well. So what is the holdup? I believe the holdup is us retail investors. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to understand the fact of the matter. The fact is, they don't want us to get that rich from this opportunity that quickly. This is the death by 1,000 cuts lawsuit. Quick crash. Massive pause on price growth. Let other tokens run first. Damn, we have diamond hands. But we're not going to sell now. No, we're going to see this all the way to the end. Ladies and gentlemen, going to cash can be as costly as any type of market crash. That's why we're in crypto. It's because we know cash is dead. Guys, it's actually going to be lukewarm for me to even try to take profits, as it's going to be hard to sell into a depreciating asset. It's going to be profit taking to ensure I could go right into another asset right after, or into USDC so I could buy more after this 70% crash happens. Guys, the reason I'm showing you this is because this lawsuit will end soon. Profits will have to be taken, but I'm going to warn against selling too much of your XRP. Look at what they've done to us. XRP is not listed on any major exchanges. It's going to be extremely hard to be able to purchase XRP in the future, and that's just a guess. It's already hard now. Why wouldn't it be hard after prices get much higher? The state of this case and what's going to come out of this is going to determine a lot. But here's what I'm going to say. I caution against selling too much. I'm preparing for the Flare network as my passive income opportunity for XRP. The wealth we're going to make from all of this holding in general will be more than cashing out entirely. Cash can be as costly as a market crash. Cash is an asset guaranteed to go to zero, while XRP is an asset I guarantee you is undervalued. Ladies and gentlemen, we've already converted BitBoy to the dark side. And just wait until we get the rest of the maxis on board. He stated something that made me very bullish the other day. And I'm going to play that for you as I cap off this video for today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
Most bullish thing that I've seen on this settlement in the last couple of days. We'll talk about XRP rallying here in a few minutes. But the thing about it is that the thing is, yesterday on the show on Around the Blockchain, I want you guys to think about this. Now, Brad Garlinghouse said he believed this would be over in January. Keep that in mind. So we do have kind of a marker for when he said he thinks it will be over. Wendy, Aaron from Altcoin Daily, and also Rice from Rice TV, all on the show yesterday on Around the Blockchain, all said they do not believe the XRP case will be settled in the next 6 months. That makes me really bullish.
I get 24 hours a day just like Bill Gates. I get 24 hours a day just like Beyonce and Jay-Z. You get 24 hours a day, ladies and gentlemen. What do you do with your 24 hours? You need to get more information. In our coaching program, all we do is drop content nonstop. And people are like, wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that. See, you don't even know what you don't know. How did you let me come from behind and clip you? Do you guys know the studies show the better we look, the more money we make? Which means your website should pass the eyeball test. Your truck should pass the eyeball test. Your people should pass the eyeball test. You should pass the eyeball test. Everybody in this room has a promised land somewhere, but you can't be stuck on the city you like. You got to hear God and go to your promised land. Your promised land might be Utah. Your promised land might be Minnesota. Your promised land might be Wyoming. Hear me clearly. You better use your money to get information and access, and you better be flexible because a real shark is flexible. Can we stop fronting and get real about this thing? And if I can do it, you can do it. I knew nothing about life. I knew nothing about business, but I had the right mindset, and I learned it through sports. And y'all got to hear my story so you understand. I didn't even start on my college basketball team. I came off the bench. At the University of Minnesota, I came off the bench. But in my mind, you can bring me off the bench, but I'm an NBA ball player when you get through talking. When you get through, I'm an NBA ball player. And that's why I would walk around and say, you can't check me. You can't check me. You can't check me. If I was you, I would walk around every day and say, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I declare it right now. I'm worth millions. I'm worth millions. I will receive my salary right now, but I won't accept it as my value. So whatever you receive right now, receive it, but don't you accept it as your value. because there's more out here for you if you change your mindset.